As an Eastern Catholic priest, many Latin Rite Catholics will ask me, Father, do you have Eucharistic adoration at your church, at your Byzantine Catholic Church? My answer to that is, well, yes and no. That question actually provides a great opportunity to witness the both lungs of the church, the complementary of the church, East and West, especially even when it comes to the Eucharist. How there are complementary ways to arrive at the same point. That's the beauty of the unity of the church, East and West. In the Byzantine churches and Eastern Catholic churches, our tabernacle is always on the altar. Oftentimes you see it looks just like a church, like a model of a church. And Eucharist is in repose always in that tabernacle. We don't use a host, we use actually leavened bread, the lamb we call it. And that, or particles, are in the tabernacle, always there. But we don't remove it and expose it, like in the Latin Rite. In the Latin Rite, the part of the spirituality and genius of the Latin Rite, the gift of the Latin Rite, is to be very singular focus. In a sense, somewhat compartmentalized. People sit before the exposed Eucharist, the monstrance with the host, and they focus on that and do their prayer and contemplation. A beautiful, meaningful custom in the Latin Rite. In the Eastern churches, we don't expose it. We know it's always there, so we're in the presence of it when we come into the church to pray or meditate. But we also add to that the iconography, which in most Eastern churches is replete throughout the entire church, usually floor to ceiling. Here we're standing in the sanctuary of the church. And the icons are images. They make present in their own way through line and color as a holy canonized art form. They make present the saints, the Virgin Mary, the angels, and also Jesus Christ. So you see, in the East, there's kind of what I would call not so much a compartmentalized approach, but a more sort of diffusive approach. In other words, the whole church becomes Eucharistic adoration for us, knowing the Eucharist is always present in the tabernacle on the altar, and also through the imagery of the iconography. So a beautiful way to understand the complementarity of the churches, both arriving at a sense of the real presence of God, of Christ in the church, being able to be in that presence, meditate, pray, be enriched by it. But above all, what this shows is that the Eucharist, the source and summit of our existence, may be something we're looking at, also receiving, but it is about how we see. Our faith is about looking through the lens of the Eucharist, not just contemplating it, but seeing it and not seeing at it, looking at it only, that's okay, but seeing in a sense through it, as though it were our glasses, our mystical glasses, that we see everything Eucharistically. That's why Eucharist is the source and summit of our existence. It's not just about only the presence of Christ, yes, but the presence of Christ diffusively as we live Christ and we see everything through the lens of Christ. We see things sacramentally. We're talking more about how this is a very, very practical and helpful approach to what our faith is really all about. Whether from East or West, the faith, Christianity, in particular Catholic, East and West, is about seeing the invisible God made visible through the physical and living according to that Eucharistic vision.